right, thank you. Welcome to our 6th episode talking about education and various options, various things for parents to consider. My name is Sophia Musioka. I am the director and founder at Almasi International Christian School. We are a Christian school that has been running since 2012. We have seen quite a number of our students finish school well and strong, proceed to the university, and who are pursuing, exciting careers in their place of work. So today we want to talk about how do you enroll your child at Almasi School. Like we said before, as a parent, you must know what you are looking for in a school. In our last episode, we talked about schooling options. We talked about the public school, touched very briefly on the pros and cons. We talked about private school. Again, talked about the pros and the cons. We talked about homeschooling, and we gave you just a few pointers. We were not very exhaustive, but just saying, what do you need to consider as a parent? And the whole point of that conversation is that as a parent, you need to take a very, have a very sober understanding of what is your situation, number one. Number two, understand your child. What kind of a child are they, and what is best suited for them within the options that are available to you as a parent. Number three, we said that you need to articulate very clear goals as a parent, so that then you're able to, school becomes an ally or a collaborator, something that, just supports your parenting goals. And I said for myself that for me, the issue of faith and character was really, really huge. And so that influenced what or how I chose a school, for my children. In our culture, in the Kenyan culture, where, marks have been hyped, I know parents who wait to see. I live in Athi River, and last year when the results came out, there were, I don't know whether it happened in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, we had school buses, and they went displaying on huge manila papers, their highest, their best achiever, and they had vuvuzelas, and they were, driving around the estates, saying, we have accomplished. And there's something about these schools. They know that in a Kenyan context, marks, grades are everything. I mean, it is so serious that even we see children actually committing suicide when they do not meet certain academic grades, and they feel that they have let themselves, they've let their parents down. I mean, really, that period of announcing exam results is usually a time of crisis and trauma for many, many children and teenagers and parents as well. Now, at Almasi, we say that, academic success is guaranteed. You heard it right. I say that Almasi School, academic success is guaranteed. Why? Because number one, the system that we offer is individualized. The system that we offer is individualized, and it takes into consideration a child's strength in terms of what is their leaning. It takes into consideration a child's, challenges in terms of, are they strong in math? Are they weak in English? And actually the process of onboarding children into Almasi School begins at that point. Just an assessment of what has been this child's journey before they came to Almasi. And so we administer what we call a diagnostic test. And a diagnostic test is not a test where you fail or you pass. It is just that, when you go to the doctor tells you, You tell him this is what you give them your history. They ask you a few questions, and on the basis of what you answers, they prescribe a regime of treatment. They make a decision about what are you suffering from, and then they also make a second decision in terms of what regime of treatment is appropriate for the thing that is ailing you. And so a diagnostic test for us is a very, very easy thing. And we do it over a period of 2 days, 2 school days, full days. And what happens is that once you have visited the school, we have had conversations, we have clarified expectations, we have had this conversation back and forth as parents, and you have made up your mind that you think that this is your choice, we then schedule a diagnostic test session. And in this session, what actually happens is that your child comes to school, they spend the day with the rest of the student body, they come and they have devotions with us in the morning, they have our meals, we assign them a place amongst their peers. For example, if your child is a 12-year-old, they will do their test in the 12-year-old class. And so they will do, and so a diagnostic test is a tool that covers key concepts at every level of education. So of course, from the very basics, from grade 1, we're talking about basic numeracy. Do they know their alphabets? Do they know their literacy, numeracy, their numbers? Do they know basic concepts of addition, subtraction, and so on? And so when a child comes in, for example, they are in currently maybe in 844 class 6, we will give them a diagnostic test that takes them 3 years below their current grade levels. Why? Because the conventional education is not mastery based, in the sense that when the year comes, your child will move to the next level, whether they have mastered content at the lower levels or not. And I remember, for example, when I was in Form 3, I was sick and I missed the class where they were teaching about the Pythagoras theorem, of finding out CG what of triangles. So I missed that class because I was sick. And when I came back after school, nobody bothered to recover that lesson for me. And throughout the rest of my time in high school, where I needed, I think it was not in Form 3, it must have been in Form 1 or 2, I can't remember. But because that was the foundation, throughout the time that I encountered that particular concept in geometry, I struggled. Why? Because there was a learning gap. I had not mastered that particular theory of maths. And so I wasn't able to do it. And so why we do testing 3 years back, we want to find out, sort of go back and find out history. What concepts has a child mastered? Where do we need to begin with them? And for sure, there are very many gaps that we find, especially in English and in math. And that is the reason behind that is because across different systems, they arrange their content differently. And so you'll find, for example, in our system, the American system, concepts that are done in the Kenyan system in Form 1 and 2 and 3, Form 1 and 2 are actually introduced in grade 5 and 6. So obviously, if a child takes a concept in grade 5 and 6, they will have gaps because in the 844 system, they were going to be introduced to that concept in Form 1 and 2. And so we begin with them from there, because if they don't master that, then obviously they're going to struggle as they move along. So a diagnostic just tells us, number 1, what does a child know? Number 2, what have they mastered? Okay, what does a child know? What have they mastered? That's really the same thing. Number 3, what concepts do they not know? And not knowing could be either, in my case, like I said, they missed that content for one reason or another, or if the content was not taught, maybe they did not understand it. But there was no way of, ensuring that child has failed, because even if you failed an exam, who comes back to make you do corrections, to ensure that you have, learned whatever it is that you are struggling with. And so a diagnostic test is just that. It's a tool that sort of gives us history, that gives us understanding of where your child is at. And then, so after the 2 days, the child is being immersed in the culture of the school. They're making friends. In a way, they are setting the groundwork for the time that, they will come to school. So when they eventually come to school, they already have made friends at their new school, and it will be a very easy transition for them. So we'll do that. We will review the results. We will do what we call an academic prescription. That says in English, your child has gaps in this area. So we will assign material, academic material, to cover the gaps, to ensure that a concept has been mastered. We will keep evaluating, and once that concept has been mastered, then their children can then work at their performance level. And really, performance level is competence. Do they understand that content or not? So that's the process. So the child comes, we do the diagnostic test, we review the diagnostic test with the parent and with the child. And then based on the outcome of the diagnostic test, we do an academic prescription, and the child comes and they begin. And the beauty also is that for us, we have all year-round enrollment. Your child can literally enroll in school any time of the year, really, literally, because it's individualized. So they come, do the testing, do the placement, and time learning begins to happen. And one of the things that we actually say in our system, the system that we run, is that time is variable. Learning is constant. Time is variable, and it means that literally I can finish grade 5 work today on Monday, and a new school year will begin for me tomorrow on a Tuesday, any time of the year, literally. So anytime, parents are welcome to come and engage with us. We will arrange a date for diagnostic testing. We will discuss the dates, and we will onboard your child. It's a very easy process. It's very relaxed, and it is meant to actually work with your child and support them where they are at. So you are welcome. We look forward to you engaging us. Please look us up at www.almasischool.org. Call us up on 0713 675 228. That number is also on WhatsApp. So in case you don't get a response on that number for one reason or another, you can WhatsApp us, and we will be sure to get back to you. Thank you for watching. This is Sophia, founder and director at Almasi School. We look forward to hearing from you.